Baron, I just saw your message in Brightspace. So I didn't realize that you drew this. That's really cool. If you could still potentially use this, like I said, it's a little busy in my other video on the that I made you on the rough draft. You could still potentially use this, but I would just take out some of these lines. You can use the eraser tool. You can change the size of it. Let's see here, maybe. It's still really big on the screen. Like how? Okay, it's way too big. I think something's wrong with my computer. Honestly, I don't think that's working very well. The size. Oh, okay. If we double click on the eraser tool, that will be even better. I was changing it in the wrong spot there. Maybe make it pretty small. Maybe 8 points. You can just leave the roundness and angle the same. 8 might actually even be too big, if but you can always just double click again and make it 2. And zooming in helps, obviously. If you want to simplify your shape and get rid of some of these lines, the eraser tool works pretty well. Not saying I don't like these designs. I think they're really pretty. It's just probably too detailed for a logo, which I go over in the other video. I was just going to show you with the Shape Builder tool. If we select this flower and we use the Shape Builder tool here, click down on that, and you can see the gray areas, and there's a plus sign next to my cursor here, next to the arrow. So if I click down, that creates an area of color. And for whatever reason, it's defaulting to filling in with kind of a gradient. But yeah, just click on whatever shape you want to make, and it should create shapes for you. So it did make shapes. So if I click here, I can, with the white arrow tool, I would use the white arrow tool, and then you can always, double click here and change your colors to whatever you're wanting. If you really like this color and you want to use it regularly, you can bring it down into your swatches panel, like you do have a color group that you made here, which is great. Remember to keep your logo colors to a minimum. I mean, I wouldn't go over 3 or 4 colors. 4 at the most. So obviously if you're using all of these colors in your logo, that's probably too many. Just as a general rule, we try to keep it around 3. A lot of logos are only 2 colors. But see, yeah, using this white arrow tool, you can go around and change the color of the shapes that we just made. So I would say use the Shape Builder tool to do that. And then, so let me find a paintbrush. Icons are good to search for just because they are always really solid, filled in images typically. So maybe like this, it's very plain, but it's all one chunk. And it's very clearly a paintbrush. So I'm going to save image to my downloads. I am back in Illustrator. I'll do a file place. I can bring in from my downloads that paintbrush icon. Click and drag that in, and we can do an image trace up here or here. Let's do just black and white logo since this is black and white, and then we need to push expand as well. Using the white arrow tool, let's click off. Let's click here and delete that white. Now with this, I can rotate this. I'm not quite sure which, I think you said on the V. So I might need to actually mirror this. Where's it at? Let's see, transform. I was kind of thinking there would be a quick way to do this. But I think we can do object, transform, reflect. There's probably a faster way to do this, but I kind of thought maybe there'd be a button somewhere over here that... anyway, object, transform, reflect, and we can reflect it vertically. You can push the preview if you want. That sometimes helps. The angle at 90. Push OK. And maybe something like that. So then we can overlay these two shapes, and then we can use the shape builder tool again. It's like our best friend. Click and drag through this thing, and it's all one chunk now. And so I don't know if you necessarily with this would want this chunk here. And maybe I didn't have this quite sized the right size. Maybe I should have sized up the paintbrush a little bit more, but you get the basic idea. But if I click down on the pen tool, there's actually a delete anchor point tool underneath the pen tool. I can select that and I can actually start deleting some of these anchor points and zooming in always helps. And we can change the handle here, you know, bring that down, you know, maybe bring this in. Maybe I want to make this a little thicker throughout here. And we can use the smooth tool to like smooth all this out nicely. You have to have it selected to use the smooth tool. And the smooth tool is actually underneath the sharper tool. It looks like a pencil with lines through it. But, you know, this might be a good technique for you to try with the V. You know, that I might not have positioned it just the way I should have done it. Like there might have been a better way to position the paintbrush before I actually, but if you go too far with it, then it just becomes like the paintbrush goes away. So, you know, there's kind of a fine line to dance there, but, that doesn't look too bad though. So I know that's kind of what you were looking for with the paintbrush. I probably could have brought it down a little bit more and sized it up even more than what I did. But that's the basic gist of how you would go about doing that. Hopefully this helps.